What if I told you the most powerful man in the world was also one of the wisest thinkers to ever live? Not a professor, not a monk, not a man in isolation, but a Roman emperor leading armies, facing plagues, ruling millions, and still asking himself one question: how do I live a good life? This is the story of Marcus Aurelius and why he might be the greatest philosopher of all time. Now, granted, I might be a bit biased on this because I am a big Marcus Aurelius fan and some might say glazer, but I will try to be the most unbiased as I can be and present to you with facts and history and what Marcus Aurelius truly preached, and of course, take everything I say with a grain of salt and judge for yourself. You have your own mind, you have the capability to think for yourself, don't let me dictate what you believe. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. Let us begin with part 1. Who was Marcus Aurelius? Marcus Aurelius wasn't just a thinker. He ruled the Roman Empire from 161 to 180 AD, a time filled with war, political instability, and a deadly plague. While most emperors chased power, Marcus chased wisdom. He didn't even want the throne, he was chosen for it. And while leading brutal military campaigns, he was writing something no one was supposed to read: Meditations, a private journal, not for fame and not for followers, just for self-improvement. Imagine you're a Roman emperor and you have a journal filled with how you want to improve yourself. That's pretty awesome. Like, if you come to think about it, imagine you have all this power and you still want to improve yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's awesome. Which points us to our next topic, part 2, the philosophy of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius followed Stoicism, a philosophy built on one brutal truth: you don't control what happens, you only control how you respond. See, Stoicism teaches a few key factors: accept faith, control your emotions, live with reason and virtue, and stay calm, no matter what. It believes the universe is rational and your job is to align with it. But here's what makes Marcus different. He didn't just teach Stoicism, he lived it while ruling the world. Part 3. Philosophy under pressure. Think about this. Most philosophers, they think in peace. Marcus was leading armies, leading wars in Danube, losing children, facing constant death, managing an empire collapsing under pressure. And in the middle of all that, he writes, you have power over your mind, not outside events. How badass was that? Imagine, you're in the middle of chaos and catastrophe, and you remain your composure and tell yourself, you have control over your mind, not outside events. Now, I know this can be kind of cringy. It's kind of giving the vibes of your typical Facebook quotes, just like, if you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best kind of stuff. But I don't care. This quote has been in my mind and by far is my favorite quote of all time. And no matter how many criticism has been given to this quote, I still think it's so cool. Anyway, this wasn't theory. This was survival. His writings were literally a way to stay sane under chaos. Part 4. Core Teachings of Marcus Aurelius. Let us now break down his most powerful ideas. Number 1. Control what you can. You can't control people, and you can't control events, but you control your thoughts, your reactions, and your actions. This is the foundation of mental strength. So I always give this as an example for this situation. Like, imagine you're in traffic and you're frustrated that you're unable to move. The heat is everywhere, you're sweating, and you're just frustrated. But you remember that, well, what can you even really do in this situation? There's nothing you can really do. You can't just get out of there. You can't just leave your car. So the best thing to do in that situation is just wait the traffic out. Stay calm, don't waste your energy, and don't waste your breath. So I think the philosophy of Stoicism is the best application for situations just like that. Number 2. Life is temporary, or memento mori. Marcus constantly reminded himself, you will die. Everyone will. But not to be depressing, but to focus on what matters. Stop wasting time, stop chasing approval, start living with purpose. Number 3. Pain is perception. Marcus believed suffering comes from how you interpret things, not the event itself. Change your perspective, change your reality. Let me give you an example of how this can be applied. Imagine in your childhood, you have this tree in your neighborhood and there's a swing in that tree. You always play with it, you always had a good time. But during your teenage years, you know someone that unfortunately was struggling with depression and took their own life hanging themselves on that tree. Now, of course, it was definitely devastating and a very sad and very emotional time for you. But one way to stay positive is instead of reminding yourself of that depressing occurrence that happened in that tree, you instead remember the good times that happened in that tree. You focus on the positives instead of the negatives. Now, of course, the example I gave is very extreme and it can't be applied for everyone. In fact, I believe even if I were to experience a situation like that, I would struggle to focus on positives. But it gives us a great way to view what Marcus Aurelius was trying to say, that we should change your perspective and focus on the positives instead of the negatives. Number 4. Duty above comfort. He didn't believe in escaping life. He believed in facing it. Even when it sucks, even when it hurts, do your duty. That's it. I think this is a very strong mentality to have and something that I try to strive by every day of my life. Despite how many hardships you experience, just keep on doing it. Do your duty. Stop saying your life sucks. Stop saying you're too tired. Excuses. That's why I believe, and this also aligns with this philosophy, is that discipline is better than motivation. If you only work with motivation as your drive, as your key factor on continue on moving, well, that's gonna run out. Well, as motivation keeps you going despite how hard it is, despite how much you don't really want to, but you're disciplined. You keep going anyway. And with that kind of mentality, you're much better to reach your goal. Instead of waiting for motivation to just suddenly give you a quick boost and maybe you can go a couple of miles along the path, in contrast to discipline, where you keep going. It might be slow, but you keep going. Now, which one of these paths do you think will most likely achieve the goal or arrive at the goal? Number 5. Humanity is one. Marcus believed we exist for each other. So you either help people or tolerate them. There is no third option. And I believe this perspective heavily aligns with biblical beliefs as well. That everyone was created to help each other, and even if you don't like someone, you have to tolerate them. Because, well, no one is going to help us except for us too, right? We help each other, basically, is the point. Part 5. Why he's different from other philosophers. Let us now compare Marcus Aurelius with other philosophers. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Socrates taught through questioning. Plato built theories on reality. And Aristotle structured logic and science. But what about Marcus Aurelius? Well, he lived philosophy in the real world. Not in a classroom, not in theory, but in war, politics, and in suffering. That's rare. The amount of chaos that was surrounding Marcus Aurelius and still having the mental fortitude and mental stability that he have, that's very impressive. I can't say the same for Aristotle. I can't say the same for Plato or Socrates. That's pretty cool. Part 6. Why Marcus Aurelius is the greatest. So, here's the argument. Philosophy and power. He was both the most powerful man alive and deeply self-aware. That combination is almost impossible. Imagine you have all the power in the world. You're ruling the most powerful empire of your time. And yet, you still try to improve yourself and better yourself and be the best version you can be. Can you get any more cooler than that? Come on. Number 2, pure intent. Mediations wasn't written for fame. It was written for self-discipline and self-correction. That makes it one of the most honest philosophical works ever. Imagine you have a journal, and that journal was basically just for your eyes only. It wasn't meant to be seen by others. And it instead of it containing a bunch of embarrassing texts or stories about your personal experiences, it contained how you better yourself. Even behind closed doors, even when nobody is looking, he's still so cool. Come on! Number 3, timeless relevance. Even today, his ideas apply to anxiety, stress, leadership, and self-discipline. People still read his work because it solves real problems. And I think that's the beauty of what Marcus Aurelius teaches, is that it's not just inclined or it's not just situational. It can be applied to multiple situations because it's that broad. And even certain situations or certain specific experiences that he's been through can be applied through analogy. And I think there's a certain beauty, and that's how you can really determine if you're a good philosopher, if your ideas can be applied and can be used by multiple people. That's amazing! Number 4, philosophy tested by reality. Most philosophies sound good, but Marcus Aurelius' philosophy survived war, death, and power. That's proof that it's good. Okay, now let's go to part 7. Criticism. To be fair, not everyone agrees, and that's okay. Some say his philosophy can be too passive. It may ignore injustice, and it can feel overly pessimistic. And even his writings show internal struggle and doubt. But that's what makes him human. Marcus was not perfect. He struggled, he doubted, he questioned everything. But every day, he chose discipline over chaos, reason over emotion, and duty over comfort. So maybe the question isn't, is Marcus Aurelius the greatest philosopher of all time? But rather, can we live a life just like Marcus Aurelius? Because in the end, philosophy isn't about thinking, it's about how you live. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it.